Okay. Don't you just want to join in with this lovely barbecue and just eat slightly more meat than you can handle, just because you can? I've been a primary school teacher for 18 years, and I loved food. I still do, by the way. I love lasagna with loads of cheese. I love fish fingers. I love sauerkraut with mashed potatoes and smoked sausage on the side, especially with some bacon. Fish fingers are very crispy. I really adored them. And a baked egg, slightly mushy in the middle. The fish my mother used to make was so lovely because she always made it with a butter sauce, and I could just taste the love with which she made it for me. I loved pea soup. It's really Dutch. Just green peas with a lot of meat inside, and also the smoked sausage again. I love also the cheese, because I'm Dutch, so every Dutch person in this room knows cheese. Cheese is lovely, and I ate cheese every night. And the bitterballs, so everybody knows them. Crispy on the outside and soft in the middle. Really adorable. All these things were made with love for me, because people who made this for me loved me, and they wanted me to show their love through food. So this is what I did for my children as well. I made this food and tried to copy the food my loved ones made for me, for them. But somehow, in between, I just couldn't figure out this eerie feeling I had with the meat on my plate and the fish, because it came from animals. And animals and meat on my plate, I just didn't want to make the connection. All these lovely animals were there for us, enjoying their lives, I hoped, but somewhere they had to be killed to get on my plate. And I didn't want to know that. I didn't want to know that the chicken wings had a life before. So I tried to, how do you call that? I tried to disconnect and just hope that it wasn't as bad as I knew it was. But it was bad, I think. And I realized that I convinced myself that the animal had a good life, and the meat on my plate, it wasn't as bad as they told me. And the commerce helped me with that, because commerce told me that there were animals who had a better life. And there was something like humane slaughter, so they got killed, but in a humane way. And I believed them because I didn't want to leave the meat on my plate. I wanted to eat it. And then I met my second husband, and he is the one, well, we had a lot in common. The only thing we didn't have in common was the fact that he was a vegetarian and I wasn't. And he told me that I should stop eating meat, actually. And somewhere I did believe him, but I felt, oh man, you're so annoying. I don't want to know this. And probably you all feel the same sometimes when someone's telling you this. So we went on with our relationship, and this subject appeared a few times. And then after 12 years, I saw a program, a news program, in the, just watching the news. And they told me that in the chicken there was antibiotics. And somehow in my head it clicked. I was like, I don't want to have antibiotics in my body coming through chicken. So somehow everything fell into place. And at that time, at that moment, I decided to become vegetarian. So my husband was really happy with me after 12 years. It took me only 12 years, so he was and we decided we had to watch more about this, more about the subject. So we went to watch all kinds of documentaries, and we learned a lot about things we actually didn't want to know, and I suppose you don't either, but I'm going to share a few items with you. Okay. First thing, it's really simple. If you eat a hamburger, it costs a lot of water. If you don't eat the hamburger, you can take a shower for 3 months, or you can flush your toilet for 6 months. That's not really nice to know, is it? Every fish you eat is actually polluted because the seas, the oceans are all sick at the moment. Even if you eat fish, you actually eat plastics as well. There's a lot of plastic in the sea. The catching fish, there are new boats now. They have huge nets, and these nets are as big as 7 airplanes. They just tear them through the sea, and everything they catch gets on board, but more than half of what they catch isn't what they want. So what do they do with that? They throw it back into the sea, either dead or dying. You don't want to know, do you? Then we have the dairy industry. That's not a nice one. If we want milk to make cheese or to drink it, the cow has to have a calf, and the calf can't stay with the mother because we want her milk. So what happens? Calf gets torn away from the mother, and if she's a cow, a woman, then she becomes a dairy cow as well. If she's not, if it's a bull, he gets killed after approximately 3 months to become your veal. So actually the dairy industry is even worse because it's also the meat industry. Then we have the rainforest, all these new people, because we are growing, the planet, the humanity is growing. We have a lot of people, and there are becoming more and more people in the world. And we demand more meat. To feed the cows we want to eat, we need soybeans. So at the rate of 1 football field every second, trees are getting torn away to make soybean fields for the cows, for our meat. That's the thing I didn't want to know. Then the final one I want to share with you is about chicken. Chicken gets born out of an egg. Little chicks come out of the egg and they don't see their mothers. They see hands that are looking at them. Are you a woman or are you a guy? If you're a girl, then you get into the egg industry, or you become a chicken that gets blown up to end up on your plate. If you're a male chick, you just go through a machine and that will tear you apart alive within a few hours after birth. That's the one I didn't want to know. So egg industry is actually also causing a lot of death. Okay, this we didn't want to know, but we should know. And my husband and I decided that vegetarian wasn't enough. So we decided to become vegans. A vegan is just a few steps further. So we don't eat meat, we don't eat fish, we don't eat honey, we don't eat eggs, and we don't use dairy or eat cheese. We told our friends and relatives, and all of a sudden everybody started to worry about our health. It's really funny. If you know a vegan, the first question you probably ask them is, what about your health? Will you get everything you need? So I'm going to show you someone else who will tell you.
Is it even possible to be a healthy vegetarian or vegan?
Is it possible to be a healthy vegetarian or vegan? I became vegan for, 32 years ago now, and I run several miles every day. I go biking 40, 50 miles through the countryside. I work long hours. I feel great. It's nice waking up in a light, trim body every day. And so many of my vegan friends and patients, are just, they're thriving since their transition to a vegan diet. So yes, and I've seen vegan moms go through healthy vegan pregnancies and deliver healthy vegan children and raise them into tall, full-size, intelligent vegan adults. And yes, certainly all the nutrients are there in the plant kingdom to do this. That is correct.
Think anyone should be consuming dairy?
I really don't. When you think about it, the purpose of cow's milk, I did most of my growing up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin. The purpose of cow's milk is to turn a 65-pound calf into a 400-pound cow as rapidly as possible. Cow's milk is baby calf growth fluid. That's what this stuff is.
Is it even possible to be a healthy vegetarian?
Okay, so we became vegans, and I decided to stop being a primary school teacher. Before that, by the way, but my husband and I own now a vegan restaurant and bed and breakfast as well. So that's for a career change. That's what the impact has on veganism on us. Now we get our inspiration somewhere else. And these kinds of books help us. Beautiful people with beautiful recipes and beautiful books. And there's one thing I do need to tell you, because one of those books is it was in the news lately. I want to share with you that veganism is definitely not a diet. Veganism, to me, is the conscious choice to make the world a better place. So what do we put on our plates now? This is what we put on our plates. And this is what I call true love. It's love for myself and my loved ones because it's healthier. It's love for the animals because they deserve so much better than what we do to them. And it's love for the planet because the environment needs more of our, how do you call that? Help and understanding that we have to take care of it for the future generations. So the only thing that I can tell you, the only conclusion I can make, is everything starts on your plate. Thank you.